guys, we are back with another Pokemon Horizons video, and this time we will be talking about the preview for episode 65. But before that, I would love to say that episode 64 was so good. I really love it, and I love to see my boy Amicio back, and also Spinel and the others. But yeah. So in the previous episode, Spinel and Agate successfully trapped Liko and Amicio in the cave, and now they have to, well, we don't know what will happen, but they will obviously spend time there, and perhaps they will work together to get out, like especially that Roy and Dot and Freed aren't there yet, and also Grusha. But before they could help each other, before they could work together, they have to bond. But honestly, I wonder what they will talk about while in the campfire, except for like Terrapacos and the Explorers thing. So my first thought is we will be getting an Amicio backstory. Like, imagine. But honestly, I don't see it happening, but I do want to see it. But now's not the time. I've also seen many theories that both Liko and Amicio will terrestrialize to remove the rocks, which makes Liko break the rules. Though why not Liko use Hattrem? She can use, like Agate's Pokemon, I don't remember the name, but she used like psychic powers. And I'm pretty sure that Hattrem also have that kind of thing. However, as much as I would love this scenario to last a bit longer, I think that this will end in this episode since we get the Explorer meeting in the preview. Unless this is a backstory, which I honestly don't see happening, or a flashback, especially that Amicio has a hateful glare towards Spinel, and I assume this is him telling that, yes, Spinel, why did you do that, you know? I don't think he will know that Agate is involved in this, but yeah, he is mad at Spinel, which may or may not further make him question about the Explorers. And of course, maybe he will join the Rising Voltakers, you know, there are so many theories about that. Though in Sango and Onyx side, I don't think there are a lot of screen time for them in this episode. They will fight with Roy and Dot, and then there will be a part where Grusha will appear, and I do wonder if seeing that, like, will he report to the school that, oh yeah, there's this weird thing going on with Sandwich and Onogiri, and like, let's disqualify them, and you know, something like that. Also, somebody pointed out that Grusha arrived on his snowboard. So I don't play the games or anything, but I do know that he retired, not just from the previous episodes, but also I read it somewhere. However, I do assume that he doesn't use his snowboard anymore, though I know that it is a very good way to transport in the mountains, the snowy mountains. But I do believe, I do imagine that, like, oh, this is a very weird, like, this is a unique scenario, and like now he has to pick it up again. Like, I imagine, like, he looks at like the snowboard and like, oh, after all these years, and I have to pick you up again. I don't know. I just imagine. Okay, so enough of that, and for sure this scenario is something that we have thought would happen before. Like a very, very, very familiar scene that we are sure that would happen, but disappointingly it didn't. Like, I think that the first chord, like the first part of Pokemon Horizons is a 10 out of 10 for me. However, that moment irked me that it's such a missed opportunity that it didn't happen, which is, of course, we didn't see Freed and Amicio cave in the mines with Galarian Moltres. My first thought is, are they afraid to have two cave-in episodes? Or were they planning to have this Amicio and Liko cave-in episode since the very start? And in order to not be redundant, they have to sacrifice the first instance of a cave-in. I remember watching this weekly and I was so afraid and also excited, like, oh my god, Freed is there with Amicio! and Galarian Moltres. Like, I have so many thoughts. Like, oh my god, will we get an episode with there's little Liko in it? Pretty much a focus or like half focus is Amethio and Free. Like, I was so nervous. Like, oh my god, are they gonna get very injured? Like, they have to get out of the fight after this, and also like reconciliation or something. But then the next week they're like, oh yeah, I'm out. Like, what? And also like they're scratchless, and then like, you know, Galarian Moltres, like at the time it's very strong, like it's very destructive. Like, what? How? Oh, where? I don't understand. Like, I love all the fillers. Oh, sorry, the filler like episode. They're not fillers. Absolutely not. I will fight you. So, despite those episodes not being very plotful, like full of plot episode, there are parts of it that if the earlier moments didn't happen, it will not go to the plot. Like, if they didn't go picnic, they wouldn't meet Watchel. As much it is neglected, and also like if they didn't go to the cafe thing, like where Murdoch's old friend is there, they wouldn't meet Kabu, and then they wouldn't get that, oh, there's like something in the Galar mines, like, you know, like it at the end, it like there are many things that very well connected. But if there's something in the first part of the story that will make me not give the first part 10 out of 10, it is the Fried and Amethyst not having a cave-in scene. Or at least, even if it didn't, at least they should have like consequences, like, oh yeah, like he's like in crutches or something, or like very very injured. Even after 40 episodes, we still don't know how the hell did they get out. So after nearly a week of overthinking, like why do they not want to have 2 episodes of a cave-in, I had a conclusion. It's not that I don't think that they are afraid of having 2 cave-in episodes. Well, I think at least. But the biggest reason is the characters involved. It's because Amethio is involved in both cave-ins, and that is a very big problem. As much as I love him, he is my very favorite character in this series. If I have 2 cave-in episodes, it means that he will both bond with the Rising Volticurse member, and with whomever he will be stuck with, it will have the same outcome. So if this will happen twice, like what will now happen to the second one? How will he develop further if that's what will happen? But had to cave in had happened, it's fine if it's like the first one is Fried and Amethio, and like the second one is Liko with Sango. If you remember like the very first part of the terrestrial course, many people say that, oh, maybe Sango will be her rival, like her female rival, you know? Or even better if it's Anne, like it's revealed that, oh, actually she's an explorer, and then she betrayed Liko, and then like maybe Anne is betrayed by the explorers, and they were trapped in the cave, and like, oh, I'm sorry Liko, I did that, all the thing, blah blah blah. Imagine that, like if it's like that, like 2 different sets of characters, it's possible. Like it's not as bad as like 2 Amethio cave-ins. I mean, I would like to see that, but you know. And also, I've not been in the side that Anne is an explorer, like since the very beginning. But as the terrestrial course go on, as Sango and Onyx is in the school, I still don't think that Anne is part of the explorers. Like unless there is a major plot twist, like, oh yeah, actually behind the scenes, that's why she had little screen time, no screen time at all. Like, oh my god, why does she have no screen time? Oh my god, I'm still angry at that. So yeah, that's my thoughts in like, what if there are 2 cave-in episodes? Like, what if the first cave-in did happen? Like, yeah. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this, and like I'm very excited for episode 65, and let's see each other after that. Let's go.